D12 on the beat.
One love, yo.
I don't know what they got to do, Papa. Why you keep blessing me like this? You favor me like you still keep on protecting me like this. Yeah, you sustaining me like this. I'm so grateful, grateful, yeah. Say, I don't know what they got to do, Papa. Why you keep blessing me like this? And you keep favor me like this. You protecting me like this. And you sustaining me like this. I'm so grateful. Yeah, yeah. You give me plenty money. Too much data. Far cherry. You put food on my table, clothes on my body, and you share to me. You share for me, so I said, down your blessing. Think that one by one, and you will know what thing that I can do. I'm so thankful, yeah. See, yeah. I'm so grateful, yeah. I used to be cocky on the carry. I didn't have no lyrics. They used to call me for nothing. Yeah, sister boy, but thank God you never left me down. No. You always been there for me. So I raise my voice and say, I don't know. Now one thing I do, Papa, why you keep blessing me like this? You favor me like this. You keep on protecting me like this. You sustain me like this. I'm so grateful, God. Jehovah Jireh, yeah, my provider. Jehovah Rapha, yeah, my healer. Jehovah Shalom, yeah, oh my peace of mind. You are my strength, like no other. Oh, you are my song in the storm. I just wanna praise you and praise you. Lift my voice to you, my God. Give you praise, yeah. Woo. Say, I don't know. Now one thing I do, Papa, why you keep on blessing me like this? You keep on favoring me like this. You keep on protecting me like this. And I'm sustaining me like this. I'm so grateful, God. Grateful God. You give me plenty money. Too much data. Far cherry. You put food on my table, clothes on my body, and you share to me. So I said, celebration by you, promotion by you, celebration by you, blessing by you, favor by you. When it's plenty, grateful, I'm grateful, God. Oh, I don't know one thing I do, Papa. Why you keep on blessing me like this? Oh, you favor me like this. Oh, you're loving me like this. Blessing me. Oh, thank God. Grateful, God. Grateful.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. And this is 2A Radio, the African Action Network radio and television station. We are here this morning once again for Inside Liberia. Inside Liberia is a program intended to look at events that are unfolding in Liberia. This morning, we are fortunate to have with us our Grand Bassa County correspondent who will give us information as to what is happening inside Grand Bassa, that is one of the counties within Liberia. Liberia is located on the west coast of Africa. For those of you who are foreign nationals and are following us on this morning broadcast, So today we have information also coming from Maryland County, even though the correspondent will not be with us, but we have information that there's two events in Maryland County. A little child, 2 years of age, got drowned and died. Also, we have information that a 43-year-old man has hung himself and also has died. So we will give you details of those information. But for now, we go to our Grand Bassa County correspondent, who will introduce himself and proceed with basic information from that part of Liberia. So Ty, you're welcome to 2A Radio. Hello, Ty, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but we cannot, cannot see you. So we cannot see you. So we hope that the technical issue will be resolved. Okay, we can see you. So I'm glad to have you. This is 2A Radio. We are sorry for the break-in. We now go to our Grand Bassa County correspondent, who will give us an update as to what is unfolding in Grand Bassa County.
Ty is off again.
Okay, so as we said, there are two events that took place this week in Maryland County. We have a little child that got drowned, and that child is dead, 2 years of age. Okay, we have Ty here once again. Ty, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jason. It's good to be live this Thursday morning on 2A Radio, bringing you up to speed with major happenings across Grand Bassa County.
I see you very energetic this morning. How are you feeling? How everything with you?
Well, I have to be energized because my energy derives from the ongoing district tournament across Grand Bassa County, where we have 6 districts currently participating, showcasing the talents of their players that will make the upcoming national county sports meet.
Give a detail of those sporting events.
Well, currently the district tournament is on. It's a round tournament. There have been several games played. Just on yesterday, District 5 took on to District 3, and in a 1-1 draw on yesterday. And previously, from the onset, Buchanan District, being one of the districts that people feel in Bassa that have all of the stars, like Montserrat County, was defeated.
Wow.
Was defeated on her first game, and so it was so disheartening for Honorable Matthew Fairplay Joe. But currently, as we speak, the wee boys from the district of Honorable Vincent Gwide are actually moving on strong, and likewise the guys from Honorable Thomas Goswa District, District 5 that went on yesterday with the draw, they are also moving on strong. But it's a round tournament, and we are hoping that the knockout stage 2A Radio can be able to bring some of those games live to the people across the globe, because it's actually a very colorful event wherein we see young Liberians showcasing their talents, and soccer is indeed one of the means by which Liberians can actually move on to another level, because Liberians are actually talented. So there are more, George, we are to come in Liberia for what I've been seeing for the past few days at the Doris Weddon Sports Stadium in Buchanan.
That's good. So how you call names of some of the officials, how are they giving support to the young players?
Well, the support have been moving on strongly, and as I can say to you for free, many of the lawmakers has taken up the task to support their teams that represent their districts. But more importantly, there are other humanitarians that comes from those districts that are trying also to give help to the team. 2 days ago, one of the representative candidates in the past 2017 election in District 3, Buchanan City, in presence of Honorable Alexander Toka donated some exotic items and cash, not only to Buchanan District, but also to Ninwin District. You know, Ninwin is a statutory district that they are now pushing to become a district on its own. So they incorporated Ninwin in the township list. So many of the humanitarian gestures that have been witnessed have been given to Ninwin Township as well. But the lawmakers are doing fervently well. You know, they are treating the team almost like national team. They are in their own buses. They have their track suits. And many of those photos will be showcased on two-way radio, as a matter of fact. But indeed, the lawmakers are giving in their all. And it's like, I don't know, but the senators are also like the twin mothers in this whole stuff, because some of them will want to hold one district, but you cannot support the other. So they have to send their support around. So it's actually a colorful event, and we hope that all goes well, because there have been no report of anything terrible since the start of the district tournament. But we are all hoping that all goes well. That is our ardent hope.
Okay, that's a very good development. Which of the district are you for? Let me ask you.
Well,
you are a
I will have to play the twin model role as well, but I'm actually from District 4, Deba Town.
Okay.
But we are all giving our support. We are giving our support.
Okay, that's very good. But let's go down to other development in Grand Bassa County.
Well, one of the trending issues here that brought a serious dramatic scene over the weekend, and we really wanted to report this on Monday because there have been other developments unfolding since this dramatic event occurred, has to do with issues surrounding the Federation of Road Transport Union of Liberia, FRTUL, and the current president of the FRTUL in Grand Bassa County is Mr. Prince Wudebo. And there was a little stand of action. There is this group, a name and INSIDE Congress Drivers Union of Liberia, CDUL, headed by UJK Kwon. UJK joined, as a matter of fact, and he came in the county to raise issues because a few time ago, there were some work ongoing at their construction site right before the Monrovia Junction, adjacent the Kojowu workshop and directly opposite the Louisa Hotel. They have a plot of land there, and they started construction work on that land, and the construction work was put to a stop by the current FRTUL boss in Grand Bassa County, Mr. Prince Wudebo, and his team, owing to the fact that there should be some march before another parking station can be erected. That was their point, and it should be above 200 feet. And so this argument went on, and it brought the chairman of the Congress Travel Union of Liberia to the field. He came to Bassa on the weekend, and the work was put to a halt. The both leaders of the FRTUL and the CDUL, they went at the administration building and they held a meeting with the Assistant Superintendent for Development, Mr. Fleegley. And that meeting ended successfully. The development superintendent made it clear that the county leadership is open to those that want to bring development in the county, but he called on the CDUL chairman, which is Mr. UJK Join, to ensure that the blueprint of whatsoever they want to erect in the county be presented before the work can move on. But currently, they've dug the foundation, they've brought blocks, sand, crushed rock to start the work, but the work has been put to a hold until what was requested for by the county leadership can be presented, and that is the blueprint. Because the county leadership is saying that they need to understand and have a clear picture of what these young guys want to do in the county, so as to give their own candidate advice and to also get the advice from zoning that is an umbrella under, that is a branch under the Ministry of Public Works. And so we are opting to see how early the team will be back with the blueprint of the structure they intend to erect as a parking lot, or they call it a parking terminal for commuters of Grand Bassa County.
Okay, I think that should also involve the transport ministry. Is there anything of such where you have officials from the transport ministry being involved, or just public works and that of the assistant superintendent for development?
Well, those were some of the hard questions I asked UJK Join, the president of the Congress Travel Union of Liberia. How have you decided to go about this? Is this the first project? And he was like, no. And from the interview I had with him, we got to understand that there are other projects across the country. One is currently being erected in Nima County. Currently, another is being erected in Bon County. And he put the worth of these projects at over $500,000. So I then asked the question, were you able to meet such resistance that you are meeting from the FRTUL branch in Grand Bassa County? And he said no. But he informed us clearly that the blueprint of the terminals across the country have been presented to Public Works Zoning Department and that of the Ministry of Transport.
Okay.
So I then asked the question, but did the Ministry of Transport or the Ministry of Public Works send any communication or forwarded any communication of same to their local leadership in the county? And he said, well, that is in the purview of the Ministry of Public Works and that of the Ministry of Transport. But as it stands, the Ministry of Public Works have not put any hold to his work. Neither has the Ministry of Transport done, because the Ministry of Public Works, the zoning department, is very proactive when it comes to erecting structures across Liberia. Once a structure is erected without the consent of the zoning department, they will actually put a halt to that project. But he informed us that they are in the know, and that was clearly justified by their absenteeism from the inquiry. Only the FRTUL raised such a qualm because of the distance. And we also calculated the distance, because between every light pole planted is 200 feet.
Okay.
And so we have more than 6 light poles planted between the current construction site and that of the major parking station of the FRTUL in Picano City. So that argument was thrown in the trash bin of history, because the development superintendent indeed stated that they are beyond what they were requesting as intruding in their own territory. Okay,
we definitely will follow up on that development. But let's look at the people of Grand Bassa County. How is the full situation, the exchange rate?
Well, this has been one of the most interesting happenings in recent times, and it have caused folks to find themselves in a state of development. You wake up one morning, the US rate is 170, the next morning you wake up is 166, the next morning is 150. But as it stands, for the past 2 weeks, there have been a serious drop in the US rate in Liberia. The US rate stood at between 170 to 175 for the past, or for the last 6 months.
Okay.
It has not gone above 175. It has not dropped below 175 for the past 6 months. So it was actually astonishing when inhabitants of Grand Bassa County woke up, and the morning exchangers along the road will say, look, the US rate is now 160.
Is there any factor in your mind? Do you have any clue, or has there been any word from any of the officials as to what could be affecting the drop in the rate of Liberian dollar, between the Liberian dollar and the US dollar?
Well, there have been no official response yet. We are expecting that to be done by the Ministry of Finance, the Minister of Finance and Development Planning. We are expecting that in the soonest possible time. But as it stands, from what we've gathered from our own independent investigation, you may be aware by now that Liberia is at the verge of changing its banknotes. And so many are attributing the change of the banknote to the rapid reduction in the US rate. Because it can be recalled that during the tenure of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, there was an exchange of the banknotes, the Liberian banknotes, on the market. And that also brought in new denomination. It brought in the 500 banknotes that we were not using before. But the unfortunate part of the change in the currency during Madam Ellen Johnson's tenure is the fact that the old currency was not removed from the market.
Okay.
And this has been a serious challenge. And this is something that the current Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Minister Samuel Tue, alarmed over when he made assertions regarding the mop-up exercise that held the economic management team feet to the fire. But we are now contemplating as to whether these assertions he made, the government is now strategizing to remove the old banknotes from the market, because quite frankly, many Liberians will say to you, to even find a new banknote is quite difficult. Many of the banknotes on the Liberian market currently, they are mutilated. Let me show you them by denomination. This is the $50 banknote, and this is even newer than the other ones you will see on the market.
Wow.
And this is an example of the $100 banknote. You rarely find new money on the Liberian market currently. So we are all taking into consideration the pending change of the Liberian banknotes on the market as to whether it is the actual reason why the US
I think that
is dropping.
the government of Liberia is not changing banknotes, right? They are printing new banknotes.
New banknotes. Yeah, sorry for a tongue twisting earlier on.
Okay.
They are printing new banknotes.
Right.
And so this is the situation we find ourselves. But currently, as it stands, just on the level across BASA, the actual exchange rate is 150. Okay. So $5 USD.
With that,
$5.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You were saying something about a $5 banknote to that of US dollars or something.
Yeah, $5 United States dollars is now equivalent to 750 Liberian dollars.
Okay, so with the drop in the exchange rate, what's about the price of basic commodities?
Well, that is a ticket issue now because marketers are complaining, and more interestingly, you know, many times those that purchase their goods and other basic commodities in US dollars, they normally request the US dollars. When you take Liberian dollars to them, they inflate the rate so as to be able to get their US dollars to purchase their goods. But as it stands now, people are even refusing the US dollars. And they are all wanting Liberian dollars because the prices of basic commodities on the Liberian market are not changing as the rate is dropping. So consumers are actually complaining, because if you were buying a telephone for $10 US, which will be equivalent to 1,600 then. Right. If you are going to buy that phone now, they will ask you to purchase a phone. You pay the $10 US, and you add either $150 or $100 liberty on the US dollars. So commodity prices are not changing. We spoke with few business folks across BASA, and they informed us that they already had their goods in store before this drop of the US and the drop in the US rate. So they are doing everything humanly possible to ensure that their goods are sold, and thereafter, when they are bringing in new goods before the Christmas, there will be a dramatic decrease in prices of basic commodities.
So what would be the price of a gallon of gasoline right now in Grand Bassa?
Currently, a gallon of gasoline in Grand Bassa is $650.
Okay. We hold you right there on those updates, and we say thank you for bringing us up with speed. And I think you spoke very, very well this morning. We'd appreciate you. Except there's any other thing you wish to tell us?
Yes, I just wish to inform you that as it stands, academic activities for the ensuing academic year 2021-2022 are now ongoing. Registration processes have started, but unfortunately, as we reported earlier on, the William V.S. Stockman Junior High School, VETI, as is popularly known, has not been open. And the last time we spoke with the county education office, they informed us that they are finding means by which they can have the students spread out to other public schools in Bassa, which is very much disheartening, and we are still following up on that. But as it stands up to press time, the ministry have not informed us of any alternative for students of the William V.S. Tubman High School, and that school has been in existence since 1944.
That's a very serious issue. I remember the last time you reported on that event that the government of Liberia was owing the owner of the building that hosts the William V.S. Tubman High School. So I wonder, why would the government want to decide to spread the students to other institutions when they can just pay off whatever they owe? I think it's more of a problem if the government decides to spread students to different schools. That should be a decision of every child as to what kind of school he or she wants to attend, or on the part of the parent.
And that is a challenge currently, and it is a very sad news for the education setting in Bassa, because since 1944, the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Education, has been occupying said facility. And let me just say this clearly: that is not the only public school in Bassa that the facility is currently being rented by the government. We have the Benson River Public School, we have the Buchanan Elementary Demonstration School, and a lot of other school facilities around. So I just wish this could be a lesson learned by the government. And the president expected in Bassa over the weekend, so we hope that he will also look into this, because the students of that institution are planning to meet the president of the Republic of Liberia to register their dissatisfaction seeing their school being closed. When you give your CV and people want to know your educational background, that school name will be erased from history. So it is quite unfortunate for them, and they are wanting to apply every frantic effort to see as to whether the government, through the Ministry of Education, can find an alternative means by which they can enroll in the William V.S. Tubman Junior High School.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And if you have an opportunity, we wish that we be able to get a few words from the student leadership before your next broadcast. If we can even host any of them, we'll be happy to hear from them. All right. But for today, we say you did extremely well, and I want to applaud you for those pieces of information. It's better. They've been those are information that affect the people, and we are glad that you are there in Basel doing all that you can to give us all of the information. So thank you so much, and it was good having you this day.
Thank you, JJ, and thank you, Patience. It has also been a wonderful time on Africa Actions Network radio this morning. We will do our best to bring the public up to speed with accurate, balanced, and clear information. That's why this media outlet stands for, and we dedicate our time to that.
Thank you so much. Okay, that was the voice of Ty Garnett. He's 2A radio correspondent in Grand Bassa County. This morning, we have information that a 43-year-old man has killed himself. He hanged himself in Maryland County, and also a 2-year-old child got drowned in what I would describe as, I don't know what is a well, but indeed that's the information we got from Maryland County. We see whether we can place any of the photos to really be able to give us some insight as to what has happened in Maryland County. The 43-year-old man on yesterday, I'm told, hung himself for whatever reason. We don't have the update yet. But we hope that we will hear more information as the correspondent of Maryland County will join us on Monday. But today we have, okay, this picture displayed the place where the 2-year-old child got drowned. Okay, in that photo you see the onlookers are people who looking at the place. Now we wonder how the 2-year-old child probably got in that pit. All right, we don't have full information here, but yeah, the 2-year-old child is dead, and the child got drowned in that water that you see. All right, we still hope that we get some detail later. Okay, because if you see the house over there and you see the pit over there, I think there's others. What I would say, either a negligent, or again, we can't say until let's get word from our correspondent that will give us the full story as to what has happened, to that 2-year-old child. I think people need to be very careful when they have a child, And this is a picture of the young man who hung himself in Maryland County. We don't also have detail as to what has happened, but the people woke up and they saw this man dead and by hanging himself on a kitchen. And definitely we will give you detail as we get our correspondent on Monday. Right, and we don't know yet, but we hope that we'll be able to give you details on those two events in Maryland County. Okay, having said those, we are glad to be here this morning. This has been 2A Radio. For those of you who have been listening to us, we say 2A Radio is a global internet radio station, radio and television station. We're doing all that we can to bring you development from across Liberia, that is inside Liberia. It's been good having Tar Garnett with us, who spoke from Grand Bassa County. And again, we hope that we get our archives correspondent by Monday. Thank you so much. And it was glad having you. Keep tuned to 2A Radio. Every time we will be here bringing you details of events unfolding from inside Liberia and other events that may be of interest to you and the people of Africa. Bye for now. We'll see you next time.